Testing 1 2, testing 1 2. Okay. All right, so let's jump over to my main menu. There we go. All right, so today, leading the day at 400%, we have AEHL up. Behind it, we have CUPR up 274%. We have GLE up 175%. We have JBDI up 160%. And then we have MWYN up 100%. So 500% movers that are fighting for volume. Everything else is under, they're like 40%, something like that. So we're gonna keep our eye on the top ones. AEHL, I'm not seeing any recent news. I saw some news come out from last month about it going with BitGo. It's an attachment to Bitcoin and trying to acquire Bitcoin. But that was from last month. It does not have all of the volume, but it is one of those larger prices. But that doesn't still mean that that's the best opportunity. Only 12 million shares traded on it. The next one is CUPR with 25 million shares traded. Okay, CUPR. Let's see, can I find any news on this one? It says it had an announcement of an exclusive licensing rights to United Nations Industrial Development Organization and Global Environment Facility validated medical waste recycling technology for Southeast Asia. So it might be a Chinese stock. Let me go check. CUPR. Good morning, Cable. Let's see what we got out here on CUPR. It's a Singapore. It's out of Singapore. So Caprina Holdings Limited, a biomedical biotechnology company focused on development and commercialization of products for the management of chronic wounds. The company manufactures and distributes a line of medical grade sterile blowfly larva biodressing larva biodressing products used as biological debridement tool for chronic wounds. Okay, so that one's doesn't have any recent news. Let's jump over to the next one, up 170%, GLE. Let's see, where is your most recent news? Not anytime recent. JBDI, nothing recent. So all of these big movers, at first Monday, the moves were big because they had reason, but now it's like no catalysts out and they're up 100%. So will shorts come back and try to make their money back? We'll see. But I'm watching all of them. A couple of wild moves we had yesterday. One, I did end up trading CWD again. Just playing it during the bottom, but this was the downside of the move. I played it around here, made some money, and then I lost that money, but I ended up green, very small green. I was like, well, if it's gonna bounce, let's just see if it bounced. But it just kept going down. Ended very small green yesterday. But we also had Nimbus, which had a contract with Microsoft, NBIS. Let's jump back to the 15-minute. Okay. So this one had a contract with Microsoft, but it was a bigger float, and I really didn't think it was going to go much further than it was. I saw when it was at 90 bucks. It only went up to 97, so nothing crazy on that move. It dropped, and then it came right back up to that 97 level. So that was a almost $10 move there. Octo's still going down. QMM was a crazy one from yesterday. Went from about $15 when I saw it up to $303. And that was a very low volume ticker yesterday, and I didn't want to touch it because it's with that low liquidity, it's hard to get sales, and it'll jump over your stops, it'll jump over your limits, and you can't get out. So, but that seems to be what happened to shorts on yesterday. With this, went from 15 to $303. EPSM was another one that made moves like this. So it went from like around 30, $25 up to 155, very low volume yesterday. So let me go ahead and clean these off because they are down a lot today. So not too worried about any of those. Let's start building a new watch list of things that can possibly do what we want them to do. Right now, so far, these AEH or AE HL and all of these are moving on earnings. So I don't know how hot that's gonna be on this morning. Let me go back to the 1 minute. Moving on those earnings. So it's gonna be probably weaker moves there with lower volume. CUPR. Looking for something else to come and really a catalyst to come and overshadow these, but it may not. We'll see. Okay, let's go look at the news front page of Yahoo. See what they got going on over here. Okay. All right. Okay. So it says gold has had a golden 2025. Let me make sure y'all seen it. Yeah. Gold has had a golden 2025. It might have a golden 2026 too. The rise in precious metal serves as a barometer of economic mood, and investors are searching for a safe haven. Oracle stock soars after blockbuster AI revenue forecast. Gold rises near record as traders wait for U.S. inflation prints. Wall Street pros race to lift S&P 500 targets after record rally. Stock traders no longer fear inflation as jobs take spotlight. Novo Nordisk to slash 9,000 jobs as competition heats up. Oil climbs as traders weigh Trump's tariff threats. Okay. MAGA as AI, or MAGA versus AI. Donald Trump's big tech courtship risk a backlash. Swedish fintech Klarna set for a hotly anticipated NYSE debut after 1.37 billion IPO. Okay. Oracle is on the front page, so I'm guessing that will be something to watch today. Let me go Oracle. It's up 31% right now. Anybody else? Oracle and gold seems to be the top contenders for today's attention. Okay. All right, let's jump back over. So we see a couple trying to fight into the spotlight with news for today. Camp, I don't know what Camp is. Camp 4 Therapeutics Corporation of $6. It's up 216%. Announces an oversubscribed private placement up to a 1 million to advance first-in-class treatment. Okay. Well, it's gonna have to do some work because yeah, it's gonna need some more volume than that. Only 5 million in the volume. But that's one of the few that I actually see catalyst for on today. Then we got Greenwick Life Sciences. Still very low volume. We got a lot of work to do to catch up with these things from yesterday. We'll continue to watch the hotter movers. AEHL popping up there on the earnings. This was another earnings one. From 20 up to 27. Did it get more news? It did not. It's 13 million shares traded. It is leading in percent gain, but still lower volume than some of these other ones. So all the attention isn't over here on it. Let's go look at the daily chart on AEHL. All right, so here we are on the daily. Whoops. On the daily chart, very spiky. Okay, let's go to auto. All right, has been working its way down. Closed at $3.07 on the other day, and released earnings and went up to $30, basically. So from 3 to 30. Let's go look at where it's trading now. Be up in this range somewhere. On earnings, though, that's how you know this market is crazy. They released earnings and went from 3 to 30. They got a long way to fall, for sure. All the way back down. $8 drop from 30 down here to 22. And nothing else right now is looking super bullish other than that one with volume. It's hump day. One of those days of the week where the thoughts start to happen after the excitement. Looking at the NQ over here, we see the NQ has been moving on up. Made this low here, has walked on up and walked on up again. So there's definitely some hope in the market continuing to go up. Let me go check TradingView. TradingView, how is the crypto doing? So Bitcoin holding up that 110. Ethereum holding up highs as well. Sol continue to press higher. This one hasn't moved for me yet. Bio taking a little break. Squid not moved yet. Dymo, nope. WorldCoin still holding around at 187. Sapien going up as well. So these two are looking to be looking pretty good for me. Got a little bit of Sapien, a little bit of WorldCoin, and it can get dangerous if it keeps on pumping up though. Keep on pumping up, cause I'm gonna hold you. AEHL just does not have the catalyst on today to continue the life. Catalyst or volume. And I'm not seeing anything else over $5 that's moving right now. I do see one. Let me just go check this one out and see what it's looking like. I don't know what the catalyst is on it. On ASST, it had catalyst from yesterday. What was your catalyst? Shareholders improve a merger with Strive. I don't know what Strive is. Let me go look at this Strive. Strive. What is Strive? Not sure what Strive is, but this is one of those that merger news, but things have been hot around the market, so I don't know. Maybe it'll wake on up. Has what 7 million shares traded. Maybe it'll wake up. I don't know. But a merger news, I don't know if a merger is gonna hold up against all this other stuff that doesn't have any catalyst that's moving up. I'll wait. I'm not that hungry. Yeah. You guys are seeing anything else that I may be missing, definitely throw it in, because just not seeing Not seeing that love that we used to seeing. May actually be a day of oversaturation where there's so much volume that has been in market is still actively participating, and that's what's causing these no catalyst things to just continue to flow and flow and flow. People trying to get out and people trying to do all this stuff as the market cools off. So it's kind of like the cooling of the metal, hot metal. That's what it's looking like. But there's definitely no missing volume. It's a lot of volume, just no purpose for it. AEHL fading on off. PMPV or PMVP is slowly moving up. We'll see if it actually ends up coming up here and trying to. It's got news on today. What's the? Oh, that's some high float. Okay. It's only $2.37. PMVP not looking the greatest. Higher float. I would definitely probably. Oops. PMVP. I probably leave this one until the open, but let me go look at what the catalyst is on it. It's got a pharmaceuticals announces promising monotherapy interim data for phase 2 trial across multiple solid tumors. So it's cancer news there. But does not have the volume to compete. Hmm. All the catalysts today are kind of looking weak. Gotta wait for something real to come through. Oracle had their front page news. They're moving on up. Looks like it's about to break highs. Zoom back up to the 15-minute. Okay, so Oracle was on the front page. It went from $242 up here to $322 this morning. So maybe some range based trading with some nice size in those ranges for some folks today. But it was definitely it's probably the most interesting thing that we've seen today. Very big move though. couple of the other ones that I'm seeing, but they just haven't made it on the TOS scan yet. These two, they're moving, but I don't know. Wrong thing. Rib, this one REVB, but it's not a lot of volume. And then Camp, and both of these have catalysts on the day, but just they're being outperformed by so much more. Go to the 1 minute. Look at these wicks. Yeah. A lot of indecisive wicks there. Let me go read the catalyst again for Rib. Rib it has a special webcast that it announced. Let's see. Special webcast to review positive top-line clinical data. That webcast is supposed to be at 8:30. I think this morning, yeah, 8:30 this morning. So not killer news. And then on now it'd be a different thing. Maybe news drops on those after the fact and they get moving. Maybe. Let me go to Camp. Camp announces oversubscribed private placement, 100 million to advance first-in-class treatment. Again, weak. So maybe something else pops on those. I don't know. Both of these are pretty low floats. Hmm.
Look now at Oracle as that company reports its first quarter results, and you can see that stock rocketing higher here in the after hours. We're up 20%. Let's get to the numbers. Q1 EPS, $1.47 versus expectations of $1.48. Q1 revenue, $14.93 billion versus $15.03 billion estimate. Q1 cloud infrastructure revenue, $3.3 billion. Here's a number, remaining performance obligations, $455 billion. That was an increase, according to the company, of 359%. Now let's get to the outlook, because that's what I think investors are cued on here and focused on. Oracle sees cloud infrastructure revenue up 77% to $18 billion in 2026. And I'm looking for commentary here from Oracle CEO Safra Katz. She is saying we signed 4 multi-billion-dollar contracts with 3 different customers in Q1. And as for the forecast, she is saying we expect Oracle Cloud Infrastructure revenue, it's going to grow 77% to $18 billion this fiscal year. And then she says it's going to increase to $32 billion, $73 billion, $114 billion, and $144 billion over the subsequent 4 years. She says Oracle is off to what she says is a brilliant start to 2026. This stock was already running hot into this print. It was up about 40% this year. You're up another 21% now in the after hours. Nancy, I got to turn to you. As a shareholder in this one, give me your take on the print.
God, I mean, you don't get this very often, Josh. Thank you. It's the largest holding in our ETF TGLR. Broadcom was yesterday. Today it's Oracle. And I think you have to think about the company as following a model that Microsoft sort of pioneered. So they went from packaged software to kind of cloud-based. And remember, Larry Ellison was vilified by the marketplace that he missed cloud computing. So for about 5 years, he took out an ad in the Wall Street Journal, bottom right-hand corner once a week, we're cloud computer. Now they've demonstrated it. And I think that as a shareholder, you saw the outlook is what's compelling. I mean, it's not the earnings report. And it rarely has been with them in recent years. It's no longer a CapEx-like company. It's a cap-intensive company. There are rumors they don't have the balance sheet to expand the CapEx. I think they've got the backlog. So we're going to hold on. I mean, if it sold off today, we were going to buy more. But
you would have bought the dip.
We would have bought the dip because we believe in what the company's doing. And I think if you love the hyperscalers, you've got to love this. It's kind of like Broadcom's the poor man's NVIDIA. Oracle's the poor man's Microsoft.
Well, let me ask you about that. When you think of the great cloud computing competition and market, and we think of investors, as you know, that Microsoft, Google, and Amazon, how does Larry and Software's company fit in there?
Well, they're partnering with these companies. And then if you think about law of big numbers, poor Microsoft's only growing Azure at 30% a year. I mean, you saw these numbers. This is what's going to drive the stock price into the future. And they pay a dividend, and they grow the dividend. So I've owned the company for almost 40 years, and it always paid to own it when Larry was off of the America's Cup sailboat and in the CEO suite. And he's engaged. He's the chief technology officer. So I love it. I'm going to continue to hold it. Yeah, we're very happy.
That stock's surging 20% in the after hours. Good news for Nancy.
Let's see what that dividend is looking like. On Oracle, I bet it pays a crazy dividend. She said she's been holding for 40 years, bro. 40 years. Gee whiz. Let's see, Oracle. All right, Oracle started paying dividends in 2009. 5 cents, 5 cents, 6, 12, and these are quarterly dividends, 12, 19, 24, 32. I bet she making some stupid money on her dividends. She's holding like 100,000 shares or something like that. Man, 50 cents per quarter. So let me just make some guesstimations. I'm thinking she's got at least, I would say minimum 10,000 shares of this. Okay, so let's say 10,000 shares times how do I want to do this? 10,000 shares times 50 cents. Okay, and then 4 times a year, so it's quarterly, so 4 times a year times, it's about, man, that's about 20K. That's crazy. I mean, am I doing that math right? I don't think I'm doing that math right. Let me go back. Okay, so she got 10,000 shares times, well, first, let's just figure out. So 50 cents times 4, that's $2 per year. Okay. $2 per year times the 10,000. Maybe I did do that math right. I'm just doing it a different way this time. Yeah. Okay. Well, either way it goes, I get the 20,000. Okay. I don't know. pretty expensive now, up to $332. She said if they if it were to dip, she was gonna buy more anyway. I like her mindset, add to winners because she's probably up so much and getting paid so much on those dividends. 40 years of holding, bro. It started paying dividends in 2009. So that's quite a bit of holding. Anyway, back over to our GLE getting on up there for some reason. Don't see any catalyst for it. But 38 million shares traded on GLE. No catalyst. Cup going up. You ain't got that kind of patience. Hey man, when it comes to building a portfolio, it's really not about, it's more about when it comes to like long-term portfolio building, it's getting into good ideas and just don't care about the money that you put in there. It needs to be excess money that you do not need now. So, that's probably what she was doing back then. Put money in there that you can forget about. Kind of like a savings account or emergency fund, but you just don't plan on touching it ever. And most people don't have that kind of expendable capital. I know some people do stupid things like take out loans to get that kind of capital, but that's crazy because now you got interest on the loan that is eating into your dividends. Let's say if you are making 10K or something on dividends, but you got a loan and the dividends are paying off the loan, but the dividends are getting ate up by the loan interest. It just doesn't make sense. So, it's one of those things you just kind of got to work your way up to it. She looks like she's about maybe 60 something or something. So she might have invested when she was 20 and let it live for 40 years. Because I don't know if she would have had the mindset beyond or below 20 to be grabbing some Oracle, but it is what it is. Her money has been moving our whole lifetime. Whole lifetime out here. All right. The rich don't get richer because they're doing, short term stuff. They get richer because they're holding this stuff that explodes. Think about the people that are holding Nvidia and all that kind of stuff. It's crazy. That's why I'm so crazy about them dividends. Getting something that's going to pay you to help you accumulate the capital that you can just forget about. And then once you accumulate that capital, dump it into something else, actually invest it into ETFs or whatever else that you can just forget about. Because really, it's not money that you're making from your salary or whatever you do on a daily basis. It's just money that your investments are making that you can reinvest. Okay, GLE, it's the most bullish looking one with no catalyst. It's kind of scary. AEHL continue to break down. Was up here 20s and now giving back everything. And it was an earnings play, so there was nothing really, no meat on the bone because the move had already happened. Wonder will people get excited about GLE with no catalyst though. Let's go look at a daily chart on GLE, see what kind of irrational moves that it can try to pull off today. It closed at 75 cents yesterday. It's now trading around 330, so top side of this little tick is 390. Could be a daily level there. And then behind that, wait, what is this? Ooh, this price level. Okay. So we got possible daily at the 4s. We had another one down here at 343, which is currently kind of struggling with. I thought I duplicated. Those are the two most obvious. And then up here was this $5, 544. $544 high side right there. You wonder what the math on the opportunity cost on those long-term holds is when index dip and everything goes down versus like more shorter term. It's still going to be better because these people, okay, so think about all these dividends that they have to reinvest. They're getting paid 20K per year, right? And they got 20K just sitting in this account. And they're like, oh, a dip. What shall I do? This isn't money that's coming out of their working wages, right? It's just money that is being accumulated off their investments. So it's not like they're putting in time per hour, right? They're putting in zero work on the back end of these investments for an account to fill up to invest in these dips. So when it dips, the money that the company or Oracle or whatever has already made them, they're just dumping it right back in, and they're not losing anything out of their own money. So I think that, because think about it, most day traders are using like their working wages to fuel their accounts or using some other way to fuel their accounts. But that's hours that they're putting in to fuel the account to be able to trade. These people aren't worried about hours to put in. She got 40 years behind her of dividend payout. Or now they started paying in 2009. So 2009 to now is what? 10, let's see, 2019 would have been 10 years, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. So about 16 years of dividend payouts on that, right? And the dividends have been growing. They started at 5 cents and have been growing. So I think the longer term way, just seeing an account fill up without you having to put your dirt or get your hands dirty is a much better appeal. Yeah, but they don't really think about things like COVID like that. COVID scares, when things drop, they're buying. So when everybody else is selling, they're buying these prices, and they continuously buy. So they're like, oh, it breached to this level, buy, 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 buy. And then when everybody's like, oh man, COVID might be over, and things start popping back up, they're already getting to their full position or their next full position. And I know now let me clear this up. I say they're buying, buying, buying. I think at the beginning of any fear type move, there is a pause where people are like, okay, do I buy or do I sell? But I think the more seasoned investors get out of that phase faster, out of that fear faster, right? Because it's human to see, oh boy, there's a global pandemic or there's hurricanes or whatever. But I think that their mindset gets them out of it faster because they're already on the lookout for investments instead of, because they already have this account that's filled up, right? They're sitting on full instead of empty, right? So it's like, oh, wait a minute. We got these dividends that have been coming in for years. We got 40, 50, 80, 100K over here. What are we worried about? Let's invest. Let us make bread. All right. Let's jump back over here and look through what we're looking at. AHL going on down. Cooper. Cooper. Be there for long. To have so much wealth that 30% of your portfolio dip means nothing. But I guess if you're up exactly, that's what I'm saying. They're up so much, it's like, bruv, their risk analysis is so much different than ours. They're like, we don't care, bro. We're buying. We are buying, bro. And everybody else like, no, but then you have to investors self reflect too, or they may not self reflect. What is it called when you project someone else's your situation on someone else's, right? So just because you don't have that extra cash, you're like, nah, bro, that's crazy. That's a crazy investment. They're like, nah, cuz nah. Don't project your lack of resources on me. All right. Oh boy. AEHL eating them up to the downside. GLE popping up here. Bottom side 237. Up 290%. Hmm. It's got 44 million shares traded. So in volume, it's definitely top dog. 44 million. But that range though, I think people are nervous about it because it doesn't have a catalyst too. Like it looks bullish, but until it starts moving, I don't think they're gonna jump on board. Mhm. Yeah, that no catalyst is killing me. I'm about to see it during intraday. They can, if a no catalyst stock can hold up during intraday, then I know people are hungry, right? It's like, okay, you have nothing, but yet you're still outperforming these things and moving up. But those can be the most dangerous because when they do drop, um, stops get hit and they get hit fast and they can cascade down. Oh man, no. Yeah. Yeah, you got to get you some ETFs, man. You know what? My strategy is this. If I can save 10 bucks, let's say 10 bucks a week, right? If I can save 10 bucks a week and just put that towards, investing, crypto, stocks, ETF, something, right? Find something that is paying dividends because right now I just like to accumulate wealth. And find something that's paying dividends, whether it's ETFs, whatever, quarterly, monthly, and then just keep going. And that way your payments start coming in at all times of the month, right? You get quarterly payments that pay at the beginning of the month, they pay at the end of the month, they pay in the middle of the month. And you keep doing that and keep adding to those things that are performing well. And eventually you get to that point where it's like, okay, well, how much am I going to make monthly off of the accumulation of all these quarterly payments, right? So you're getting paid all the time. You can't even keep up with when you're getting paid. I know I can't, but I'm just like, okay, at the end of the month, what's the extra income that's coming in off these dividends, off this staking, whatever? Then you can say, okay, well, I've been doing 10 bucks. How about I do this? I'll put 10 in and then I let my dividends match me, right? And so you say, okay, I put in 10, the dividends are making whatever. So, I'll match whatever the dividends are doing. Once the dividends start making 20 bucks, you match it. 2020. Make 40 bucks, match it. 40. They make 100 bucks a month, match it. Now you're getting 200 bucks a month put in there and you're only having to do half the work. And let's say it gets out of range. Let's say if your dividends making 500 bucks a month and you don't want to, you're like, man, I'm not about to match this no more. You can go half. You can say, okay, if the dividend makes 500, I'll put in 250, right? If the dividend makes 1,000, I'll put in 500. And it starts outworking you, right? It starts outdoing what you can do by yourself. Paul K, MMA just popped. MMA, they punching people in the teeth over there. What they doing? What they doing? Let's go see. Let's go see. MMA. I was scared of this one because there's so much foreshadowing on the Chinese stocks and all the all of the martial arts type jokes that I can make. I was like, I don't know about this. I don't know about this. Plus, it's one of those cheaper stocks. I kind of like to stay away from these. This is where I lose the majority of money on stocks under $5. The majority of the money that I've ever lost trading, the majority of the money that I've made trading is above five. Cheap stocks just are not my thing. One, because I am greedy. I am, and I definitely suffer from greed in the trade. So, like, not wanting to sell because I think it can go higher. And getting into a cheap stock that's really choppy is really bad for my health. If it's only moving 10 cents or 5 cents or something lower than 10 cents, I'm gonna suffer. Because when it goes against me, I'm gonna be like, man, come on, this little cheap one, it can go up. It can go up and it continues to just go against me. But with the higher price ones, you get a faster, especially when they're moving on a low float with some range, with a good ATR on it. You can make 20 cents, 30 cents very quickly and not have to hold through that. You can be like, okay, well, I'm up 30 cents. I'll take that. Okay, I'm up 50 cents. I'll take that. Oh, it's up $1. I'll take that. But I'm too greedy for the cheap stocks, for sure. I will get hurt. A 3 cent move is just going to do nothing but make me hungrier. So I kind of stay away from them. That's why you see me. I look at them. They look appealing. They look like they can bring life, but nah. Based on my statistics, that's how I get my mouth tore out. I'm good. If I see a whole lineup right now, like my pre-market scanner, all I see is $2 stocks, $3 stocks, $1 stocks, under $1. I'm good. I will be fasting until I see something that can possibly give me range. You said, let me see, let me read this. He says a company was founded by James Fleet, Nick Langton, John Kavanaugh. I'm tripping. I said that so wrong. And Conor McGregor on March 27th, 2013, and is headquartered in Sydney, Australia. McGregor's, yeah, that's unfortunate. That doesn't mean that it's a bad thing. I mean, they want to start a company, they want to do their own thing. Because for the longest time, MMA really got blew up in the American culture, but other places wanna benefit as well, want to start their own legacies and things like that. So no problem with that. It's just it's got a lot of competition in front of it. A lot of competition. GLE is leading the day, man. It is leading the day. Good thing. It's gonna keep me on the sideline. It's up to 350. 350. Got through this little 344 level. Has an ATR right now of 55 cents. With no catalyst. So if it's going to be the outperformer for today during pre-market, I'm good. It's giving me a nice red and yellow flag not to touch it. But it may give opportunity if you're quick. If you're not greedy like me and you're willing to take quick profits, this may be the one for you. I'm not selling it to you. I'm just saying, if you have a strategy to implement, cool. But if you don't, you're just jumping in. That no catalyst may be a bit choppy today, to say the least. All right. The ones that did have catalysts on the day are still suffering down here. Camp and then REVB, weak catalysts on today. A webcast for actually some more news came out on some of these. Let me see. Okay, REVB with the webcast at 8:30, and then Camp 4 secures a 50 million initial financing with potential for additional 50 million to fund its phase 1/2 clinical trial. So they got some money on camp. Got 50 million and then the potential to secure another 50 million. Oh, I'll wait on that. Both of these. If they don't compete, they will stay off the scan. Okay, GLE hit up in this little range, touch the top. All right, so I'm just gonna stick to the top three right now, which is GLE, which is going down now. AEHL did a little breakout here, but very choppy. Had previous highs, went up to 34, 35, 33 a couple of times, but just continues to find more and more weakness. Boy, this thing looks like the rising sun, going up, going down, up, down, and big ranges too. And every one of these little breakouts is just kind of like a fake out. Gives you a little bit and takes it all back. But Oracle, let's go look at Oracle. Where is it at now? It made its way down a little bit. Thinking if it dips, like old lady said on the front page that we were listening to, they're gonna be buying more anyway. So it is what it is. Let me go back and look at the front page, refresh, and see if anything new has popped up. AI trade isn't. Whoops. Is this AI trade?
Wall Street is wrestling with whether the AI trade is running too hot after months of gains in names tied to artificial intelligence. Fears of a bubble are growing. Sam Stovall, CFRA Research Chief Investment Strategist, joins now. Sam, always great to see you, sir. So Oracle just reported, Sam, this stock is skyrocketing in the after hours. It is up 21% right now, Sam. I'm not going to ask you for your thoughts on that print, Sam. I do want your thoughts, though, about just the broader mega AI trade and trend, Sam, and your thoughts on that trend, which of course is so critical for this market, Sam.
Sure. Well, good to talk to you again, Josh. And as your prior guest said, trying to come up with a sports analogy, I wouldn't say it's in the first inning. I would say it's still in batting practice. So there is an awful lot of growth ahead. Upside likely to be tied to things like infrastructure as a service business, software as a service offering, a lot of the compute demands, et cetera. And it's the hyperscalers that are really going to be demanding services from the software companies like Oracle, et cetera. So certainly good growth in this area that is likely to be in double digits for the next several years.
Let me ask you, Sam, some folks say, listen, if they're asked what's more important for the market, AI or the Fed, they say actually the former. I'm wondering if you agree with that.
Well, the Fed certainly is important because of the lower interest rates do tend to help the stock market in general, does tend to help more cyclical sectors in particular. But it seems as if technology has really marches to its own beat. Used to be from a seasonal perspective that the cyclical sectors like tech, industrials, materials did poorly in the May through October period, hence the sell in May adage. But it seems that technology does well in both the best 6 months of the year, as coined by the Stock Traders Almanac, November through April, as well as the sell in May period, because that's where the earnings growth is. Unlike what we saw back in 2000 when we had the S&P trading technology stocks trading at 60 times forward earnings. Tech, even with the massive explosion in prices we've seen, are dealing with real earnings that are one half to one third of what those valuations were 25 years ago.
Let me ask you, Sam, we got that weak jobs report, some important inflation prints are on deck here, but do you think that cut from the Fed, is that a lock next week?
I think it's a lock for next week, but the Fed will certainly continue to be data dependent. And so we will have to run the gauntlet, as I call it, of other economic data to see whether the Fed will then sit on its hands in October and wait to cut again in December. But I certainly think that the market anticipates that it's a foregone conclusion that they will cut by at least 25 basis points next week.
All right. All right. So we got Oracle top of the news. None of the small caps are
Gold
top of
prices.
the news today, so I would be careful on small caps, especially if they're not competing with Oracle. Oracle right now has 3 million shares traded, and we'll see what happens. And you are on camp right now. Let me see. So you said, good morning, Donnell. You said Mac is up on camp, just need momentum now. Let's look at camp. What is going on camp? This was one of the ones that had some type of catalyst today. This was a therapeutics company. Hit a high of 740s. Let's go look at the daily chart real quick for camp. So it was trading at 199 yesterday, or at the close of yesterday. Got over this 236. What is this up here? 575. It actually went up to 740 at the highs. What obvious levels does it have? So 557. It's under that. Well, it's got to get back. It's got to get back over 4, really. It's got to start eating over 4, but yeah. What is this? Yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens there. GLE is back within this range, holding this range, just going back and forth, no catalyst. Now, these ones I hate because they're unpredictable. It's like they'll play with you, and then pop. It's like, man, how long is it going to play before it does a pop to either direction? And how, with no catalyst, what will be the implications of that pop? Will it just snatch back as a wick, or what? Like, it's really unpredictable. I feel a lot more brave with catalysts and with some good volume. GLE has good volume, but the catalyst is missing. And actually, the range is missing too, because if we look at these little ranges, let's look at a candle here. So this one went from 334 up to about 372, about a 40-cent range there on that 1 minute candle. And this one was 356 up to 380, so about 30 cents. So just definitely holding in this range here. But like I said, it's unpredictable. It can go either way big. And I don't like that. I don't like that unpredictability. The other thing is, with it being cheaper, people can buy more shares and end up being in a position where they're oversized rather than undersized. And I feel I do better when I'm undersized. When I have less shares, but the move is big and I can get the same payout, I feel a lot better. If I can make $100, like earlier this week, made $100 on 19 shares, I'm cool with that. Didn't even need a, 200 whatever shares. Okay. Continuously looking through. GLE coming on down. Coupler. EDHL. EDHL is a super cheap one. Got pennies out there. I think I just seen Camp. It looked like it touched 4, maybe it didn't. But yeah, point of control right now is at 394. So the majority of the trades that have happened during this session are at 394. Got some trading up here, but not as much as down here. I'm wondering, is this buyers or sellers down here? We'll see how it reacts. It needs to, if it's gonna be strong at the point of control, it needs to go ahead and get over it and start getting up above that 4 and doing some nice movements upward. Or this point of control becomes a point where sellers don't want to see it back above and they just short here. Oh, I'm on the wrong stream, my bad. So what I was saying is I saw it come up here to the point of control 394. It needs to get over this, get over $4 and actually start trading up if it's going to be strong, if it's going to take priority on the day. It's got 17 million shares traded. There's a little peak at 4. Up 102%. This is what I'm talking about with that range. Let's see how far it goes. It has up here to 429 was the previous high when it popped out. Almost tapped it, got it. Okay, tap the 429. Now what? MMA definitely on watch. Well, we'll see what it does. Has any other news dropped on it? Donald Trump news? Nope. Don't see anything yet. Wait, UFC GM rolls out MMA Inc. BJJLink.com software as a technology engine to power its Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu franchise growth. So let me go to that website, BJJ Link. BJJLink.com. Okay. So here's their, make sure y'all see this. Okay, here's their website here, BJJ, the ultimate software for Jiu-Jitsu academies. So I'm guessing that this, let me just look through the features. I'm thinking I know what it's gonna be. Yeah. Billing payment, class scheduling, attendance, student management, staff dashboard. So if you got a really big school and you want to get keep up with all your students and things in a very quick, it used to be where senseis used to have to remember all of their pupils, and if you wasn't good, you just get forgotten. So this is definitely different. You'll be able to remember all of your pupils, no matter what their latent potential is. So that's good. Let's go look at pricing. All right, simple, transparent pricing. I opened with no clue about the business side. BJJ Link made everything simpler. Okay, so you got the black and you got the coral. The black is $49 per month, payment billing, attendance tracking, student data, internal emails, student engagement tools, academy. So you can send out emails and things. Like, yo, I'm sorry I kicked you in the mouth. Hopefully that heals up soon. See you back at class. Peace. Um, Outbound marketing, emails, and CMS. Customer managed software. Let's see. Lead generation tools, payment. Because when you think about it, martial arts is a lot bigger than just one dojo, one sensei. A lot of people like to hire these senseis, and they'll bring some of their students to teach self defense classes. They'll do like they do demonstrations and things like real life demonstrations as far as like, let's say, fighting over a weapon, fighting for your life over a weapon. People like to see that. It's kind of like a lighter version of Gladiator, where you have to fight for like a knife or a gun or chain, pipe, whatever it is, and whoever gets it wins. Well, not necessarily. If it's a knife or a gun, you still gotta stab them. But if it's a gun, no. If it's a gun, you can shoot, you win. But if it's a knife, pole, chain, or whatever, you still gotta do the finishing blow. But they have man, the wooden pipes that they had. Ooh, those things. They they won't break bone, but they hurt for sure. They like a not like a police, a little bit softer than a police baton. And then they got some beginner level pipes and stuff too, so that don't hurt that much. Okay. It is what it is. They got their little website out there. Cable, you don't do martial arts? You don't do martial arts out here in these streets? You just out here living life without fighting? Is that what you do out here? Oh man, that's crazy. I'm kidding. Oh, but yeah, camp struggled at their $4. That's why I don't like this, man. I like something that's gonna blow the roof off multiple times. GLE back up here to 344. Struggled. Like I said, this one went up here and it's unpredictable. It could take out this whole range and blast up over 391. So it's cheaper. Lifting is cheaper than martial arts. You don't need to go to a dojo to do martial arts. You don't. I mean, you can meet on a beside a lake or something, right? That outdoor experience. Get out there and get a nice little breeze and a punch to the gut. But GLE, it's a struggle boat. I'm just not into any of these. I want to see something with more range. I want to see something with more spice and a catalyst, which we have yet to see out here in these streets. Jump back over here. Oh no. I see. What is this? W. But that doesn't have any kind of catalyst on today. It's just earnings with WLDS or earnings news. So that's gonna probably be a nice little chop factory. WLDS. Cheaper stock. Wearable Devices is the name of the company. Yep, today's looking like one of those days. Where I do some account protection. Maybe we'll see something intraday. But I know for a fact most of this stuff is going to be dropping off because it doesn't have a reason to hold up. And if it doesn't, well, that'll be what I'm looking at, and I won't trade it. I'll just watch it go higher. Or maybe I won't be watching it. Maybe I'll be doing some work. But yeah, this was a major slowdown at this point. Looking like it wants to break back down under threes on GLE. You trying to get another dude to spar soft. Why? You gotta be ready to fight like it's real life, bro. You gotta block, run, because the longer the fight lasts, the worse it's gonna be. If you're in a fight for, you know, 20 seconds, 30 seconds, that's a long fight. That's a long fight. Think about it. Sprinters that are running the 100 meter, they run it in 10 seconds, right? Most of them aren't tired after it. But 20 seconds, that's like running a 200 meter. So you're gonna be feeling that, especially if you're clinching or you're grappling with somebody for 20 seconds. That's a long time to try to not get choked out. Or if you're fighting for a weapon and you get tired fighting for a knife, and then bam, you getting stabbed. Bam, 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 3 times in the liver, dead. Oi, oi, oi. I think it's better to just know your limits than not know your limits. To push yourself and see how far you can go before you cramp up, before you get so tired that you're ready to throw up, or just know your limits. Know what things you're not willing to jump off of. Running from somebody with a knife, because sometimes they're like, oh, they have a knife, run. Well, sometimes that's just not doable in certain spaces. It's like, let me jump off this building and battle roll into a run and get away from this person. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. You're not getting away. Camp back at $4, just continues to just play around here. 100% up. Previous highs was around 437 for camp. GLE gave up the ghost back on the $3. You said got to keep one of these handy. Yeah, that's right. Good morning, Tatiana. Good morning, good morning. All right, camp is looking like it's trying to reassess where it was trying to go here. So it has some type of like mild structure here, but hasn't really. We'll see if it's what it wants to do with that. And then it had this flat top right here, 423. 420 is kind of like the bottom side of the on the daily chart of the previous trading levels. So right here, for like right around this bottom is where it's kind of struggling to re-enter that level. Okay. So point of control is at 394. It just popped off of 4. We'll see how it holds 4 here. Had what looks like some type of trend here, but not sure yet. Right now, to break this trend down, we just need to go under 364. Very slow hold on that the $4 level. Right. Open up a little bit higher. Might see a little breakout here. But again, this has been the struggle point at this 337. 320, 425 to 430-ish level. Hmm. This is oh, they put new news out, so they seek to raise up to 100 million. Okay, okay. So at first it says secured 50 million initial financing and looking for an addition or potential for additional. So they're trying to make money from you today, whoever's in camp. They're looking to make 50 million today on retail. We'll see if that actually happens. It is what it is. GLE, no catalyst again coming up. So it's tested this level multiple times and coming back up to this level of the 345s. Maybe it'll push through it. Point of control right now is at 340. No catalyst. There's just so many eyes on Glee, it just doesn't make any sense. 85 million shares traded over here. It's like what they're waiting on is just a quick drop, quick pop and drop. Just like back here. No catalyst popped up to 624. They sold it off. So wondering, will it do another one of those before they open or what? And how quick is it going to happen? Because it doesn't look like any trading happened back here. But with all this volume, it should maybe hold a couple of seconds. Got a bottom down here around 250. 250. I haven't seen anything that's over $5 that's moving with range as of yet. AEHL was one that I was watching earlier, but then when I looked into it, it was only I think it was earnings that it had, maybe. Nothing crazy. It's given back quite a bit. It went up there to $35, gave it all back 3 times in a row. 35, 35, 35, and gave it all the way back up to 15 3 times in a row. So definitely not something I want to be participating in. Okay, GLE again facing some resistance at that 344 level. Whoops, Camp. What you doing, Camp? Camp again sold out to this $4 level. It really needs to rip over 432s, and maybe during the intraday after the open it will, but there's a lot of something going on in here for it to just be holding and not breaking down. It has some kind of structure here, but just has not went and retested it, and then it has a flat top up here, and it does have catalysts on the day. They're just trying to make 50 million off of y'all. So shall you allow that? Will you be quick enough to take from them some of that 50 million? Very tight range in here. Moving just pennies now, GLE. Yeah, I wouldn't bet on that, Paul. With everything that's happened today, or over the past couple of days, the things that didn't have catalysts, they went up on very low volume. So QMM barely had 10 million shares traded on the whole day. GLE is thickly traded. It has 86 million shares traded and not moving. Yesterday, QMM barely moving. I mean, it didn't even need a million shares to move $50. You know what I'm saying? So for it to be this thickly traded, there is a lot of people with orders set out. There's a lot of people with that are ready to sell any pops on GLE, any pops at all. They ready. With 86 million, that means that big traders that take, tens of millions of shares of a stock, they're in there. They're ready to sell. All right. They've done their little share locates. They've located their shares on it. They're ready. So I don't know. I'll be very careful on both of these, Camp and the other one. Camp breaking down for now. Looking to want to go and retest these under SMX, paying a cash dividend, but it's a cheaper one. I see that one just popped up. SMX, low volume mover here. We've seen this one before. It says, what does it say about this dividend? It says creates an immutable proof system where verification pays cash dividends. I don't know what that means for retail. Let me see. SMS creates immutable proof system where verification. What does that mean? Are y'all paying a dividend or are not? Are y'all not? I don't think they're paying a dividend. I think this is gonna crash out. This is a Singapore company. Oh, I remember this one. Trash. Leave it in the can. Okay, so SMX popping up there, but has a long way to go to catch up in with any volume. Everything up here has got like 20 million shares. Anyway, I'm about to get ready to get on out of here and get to this morning meeting. We'll see what happens during the open, during intraday, but right now, I just don't see anything that I'm willing to touch or play with. Camp going back down and breaking that what looked like some kind of structure, but looks like it's invalidating that structure now. What was the other one? GLE. Again, just riding right under the threes there. So I don't know. I think it's gonna be one of the two, but I would be very careful with GLE with people selling off hard because it's so thickly traded. Almost 1 million shares or 100 million shares traded before the open. Anyway, that is it for me today. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. We'll be back tomorrow, pre-market Thursday morning. See if we can do anything great before Friday hits. And because Friday is always Freaky Friday. I don't even know if I'm just gonna have to look and see. It's not a whole lot of things that align with my what I'm looking for on Fridays, I've noticed. But yep, that is it. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.